understand it. This is a V. This is a W. And this is another V. Vibe with veggies. So during those 2 years we were dating because we did break up and then we got back together for another 6 months. So in total we dated for 5 months. Oh my god. In total we dated for 10 months. Oh yeah, so for I learned... Ooh! But the breakup was devastating. Like, we don't talk.
Hello my loves and welcome to another video with your girl Vibe with Veggies. Like it? Do you like it? Alright, today I'm going to be making some Italian inspired foods like caprese salad. And I forgot one of the most important parts about this caprese salad. Hold it. Okay, I have it. I forgot the basil. Kind of need that. Now, a difference between this caprese salad and the rest of the caprese salads that you probably have seen is that this one, instead of mozzarella, I'm going to use avocado. So it's still going to have that creamy, delicious, fresh flavor that mozzarella kind of gives, as well as your tomatoes and your basil. And I'm also going to dress it with some balsamic vinegar. This one's from Trader Joe's. Very, very fancy. And then I also have, when I do more talking, and I will be eating this one, I promise, I have some pasta with like penne alla vodka, but it's literally just marinara sauce and fake cheese. And I'm not the biggest fan of cheese, if you know me, so I don't know how I'll feel about that, but we'll see. Okay, today's topic, inspired by Ariana Grande, is going to be what I've learned from my exes. And I know that can be kind of a little bit of a controversial subject and a little bit scary, but I won't be saying anyone's name or anything like that. I'm just going to be just telling you what I've learned from each relationship. And I do believe it's very important to get to know people in general, not necessarily in a relationship or anything like that, but get to know people so that you can help learn what type of person you are. Alright, that was a poorly cut. So I'm going to also put some lettuce on the bottom just to make it look a little bit fancy. This is an organic spring mix also from Trader Joe's. You know, you gotta get your greens in there. And okay, so my first relationship was in high school, my freshman year of high school. So I was actually probably 15 years old, maybe, yeah. I went to high school when I was 14, I was pretty young, but was 15 years old. You know what? I think I'm only gonna cut these more, because I just ate like 3 oranges, so I'm also not that hungry, but I don't know. I just wanted to do this video. So I'm gonna cut it into slices like this, where I can kind of just scoop it out and place it as if it is mozzarella slices. Okay, so yes, as I was saying, my first relationship was beautiful. It was a beautiful relationship, but was very intense for me. You know, I was 14, 15 years old. I was so impressionable at that time. I really didn't know who I was or like what type of person I was. I was kind of still just doing whatever I thought I was supposed to do at that age. And so, but there was this guy, my ex, in my grade who I literally fell in love with immediately. Like, I was obsessed with him. He was really big into video games, and at the time, so was I. He seemed so cool. He was funny. He was very outgoing. I was obsessed with him. So I would not say in any way, shape, or form this was a healthy relationship whatsoever, because I personally was just so, I don't even know if I like really knew him or anything or knew what I wanted in a relationship. I just was like, okay, that's the guy I want. So, and he lived kind of far away from school, so there were a lot of days that he actually didn't go into school, whereas for me, I went into school every single day, because that's just like, in my family, there's no excuse to not go to school unless you were really, 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 really sick. And even then, my mom could almost always catch when I was lying. So, something I learned, I guess, from that relationship was sometimes something may seem like you're so in love with someone. You may feel like, oh my God, I'm in so much lust for this person, but that's exactly just what it is. It's just lust. It's not necessarily love, and it may not necessarily be a great relationship. Now with him, we dated for like 4 months originally, and then we broke up for a little bit, and he dated, I think, someone else in our school, and I was just so mean. I was so mean to the girl he was dating. I was not a nice person to her because I was jealous. Like, I really loved this guy for a very long time. He was also like, I talked about him all the time. Every single conversation, I had to somehow figure out a way that I could tie in my ex / my boyfriend at the time, because it's all I thought about. So I feel like, oh, everyone else would want to hear about it. But no, that's not necessarily true. And I also learned that from that relationship. And it kind of opened my eyes, like, oh my God, if I want to get over this guy, I really need to stop verbalizing him as a person. I need to stop, like, you know, thinking about him all the time and talking about him, because one, it's not just annoying for everyone else, it's also just not even healthy for me to do that. So I practiced doing that. I stopped talking about him, and it took, honestly, how long did it take? It probably took me 2 years. Okay, because we went to the same high school for 2 years, and then he switched schools. So during those 2 years we were dating, because we did break up, and then we got back together for another 6 months. So in total we dated for 5 months. Oh my God. In total we dated for 10 months. And when he switched schools, I still really like cared about him. I still really loved him, but I didn't see him because, you know, we didn't go to the same school. And then turns out I actually had to move to the same school that he went to, funny enough. And it really actually, like, when I was making, I'm not gonna lie, when I was making the decision to switch schools, my senior year, I had to switch high schools. Oh, that's a whole nother story that I really don't want to get into right now. But when I had to switch schools then, I was like, honestly, oh, I wouldn't mind going to the same school that my ex went to, because I still loved him and whatnot, but he was still dating other people. Even I was dating another person at the time, but I still, like, you know, when you kind of have in the back of your head, like, one eye on another person. So that's kind of what I was doing. Again, I feel so bad to say all this, but yeah, it's the truth, and I'm sure other people have gone through it too. So I followed him my senior year to his school, and we did not talk at all. Literally, we were not friends, we were nothing. And I will say that our relationship and our friendship really stemmed from originally being friends. Like, we were good friends before we were anything else, and before we were even in a relationship or anything whatsoever like that. Because, I don't know, I think that's very important to establish in a relationship. Like, are you guys just dating because of lust and because of attraction? Or are you dating because you actually enjoyed each other's company or are very good friends with each other? So, all right, time for basil. So right now I've done the slices. I didn't have enough avocado to fill up these 2 tomato slices, but that's okay. Now I'm going to be de-stemming some of these basil leaves. I think this is clean. Yeah, these are clean. And I'm actually gonna chop these in half because I do love basil. You know what? Maybe I'm wondering if I want a full basil leaf on it. The struggle, you know? Maybe I'll cut it in half. I'm gonna cut it in half and kind of just lay it on top of each one. So I followed him to his high school. We really weren't friends at all. We had somewhat of overlapping friends because, hello, I went to a school where our graduating class was 4 people. No joke, valedictorian, no big deal. So yeah, as I was saying, like, we didn't really have that many friends that overlap, but obviously in a school that's like has 46 people in total, you really can't not see each other. But somehow, like, we did a really good job, and he was dating someone else in that school. Okay. So finally, before we dig into let's put, and I didn't put any olive oil on because I'm gonna be eating a lot and I don't really want olive oil in addition. So a little bit of balsamic vinegar on each one. And then, so this is what it looks like. So yummy. I'm gonna bring the other food up and then we're gonna start eating and then talking still. Okay, so I have all the food here and I'm gonna be talking as I eat, so we'll see how much I eat, but it's the pasta that I use is the Banza pasta, so it's made out of chickpeas, and I use this marinara sauce and I use this vegan cheese spread stuff that you use for like mac and cheese. I'm gonna take a bite of this first because it actually looks really good. That's really good. Okay. Let's try this. So, as I was saying, I was in this really small school. My ex and I really didn't even talk a lot in this school because we just had very different friends. But, I think that was really good for us because eventually now we're friends. And like literally he's one of my best friends and we hang out and we do things together just like us two, and it's not weird. Because I don't know, we have a lot in common. We are very similar as a relationship, which is another thing that I learned. Like, you don't really want to go for someone who's too similar to you. Yeah. The avocado and the balsamic vinaigrette is a very good complement to this tomato. This one's really good. I don't know if I like this more than that one though. They're very different. That one's very comfort foody. I don't know why I'm not using a fork also. I'm struggling big time here. But I might need more basil. Yeah, so the time away really allowed us to become just friends and become, like, forget about whatever history. We don't even remember why we broke up. I think it was because, like, he was really into video games and didn't really know how to, like, spend time with both me and his video games. He kind of always put video games before me, if that's what I remember, but that's all I remember, and I'm sure there was more to it than that. But enough time has passed. I think it honestly took me about, like, 2 full years for me to finally get over him 100%. And that's with boyfriends in between too. So, like, several boyfriends. So, 2. So, yeah. So, he taught me to not be obsessed with people, and, like, he actually taught me what love was. He taught me love. He taught me patience. He taught me love because I really thought I loved him, and he was my first love for sure, but I think it was more of, I was just very infatuated by him, and I was very obsessed with him, and maybe not, it wasn't a healthy relationship. But again, high school, freshman year, sophomore year, 15, 16 years old, and now everything that happened was worth it because we're literally best friends now, so. There's definitely a difference between real pasta and chickpea pasta. This is the entire box. Okay, boyfriend number 2. We met at work. I was a counselor and he was a boat driver. And he was half Asian and Jewish too, so that was kind of cool. So, and it was kind of like the running joke, like, oh, you guys have to go together, blah, blah, blah. But we actually really liked each other. He was also a little older than me. He was 3 years older than me. So, he was going to college after that summer, and we dated over the summer. So we knew that we had like a timeline. Like we knew we were going to expire at some point. What do they call it? Expirationship or something like that, when you know that going into the relationship you're going to pretty much expire. Because, I don't know, it's his first time in college. It's not really smart to go into, in my eyes, it's not really smart to go into college with a relationship, because how can you keep up with a relationship when you're going through so many new adjustments and the person that you're dating cannot understand at all what you're going through. So, I think it's doable, and I've seen relationships do it and they're very successful at it, but it wouldn't be successful to me. Also, I'm not the best at long distance relationships. This is so good. You don't even need cheese. So, he was the one boyfriend that treated me like a princess. Like, he was one of those boyfriends that listened to like you saying, oh my god, like my favorite perfume is, like he bought me Viva La Juicy, Juicy Couture Viva La Juicy perfume, like a $95 bottle, because he overheard me saying like, yeah, like this is actually, we went shopping or something, and I was like, oh, this is the scent I wear. And like for my, I don't even know what event, maybe our 3-month, 4-month, I don't know, we dated for 4 months, he bought me that. He like also bought me, he knew I love Audrey Hepburn, so he just treated me like an Audrey Hepburn, I need to finish my sentences. He bought me an Audrey Hepburn poster or canvas, and that was so nice. Like he was the one that treated me like a princess, like so top of the notch. But yeah, we just knew that, and everything was good. When we broke up, it was very mutual. So that was a very nice relationship, and I'm very happy that I had that. And then my senior year, I dated this one other person, 6 months. Oh yeah, so from I learned, okay, from that last relationship, I learned like how I would like to be treated. I want to be treated well by someone who listens and who pays attention, who wants to like, he did everything. We did like a baby food challenge on YouTube together, like. He genuinely just did things just to make me happy, which was nice. So I learned that from him. And then the one after that, I was dating someone who like, it was just like a weird relationship. It was just a really weird, I don't really remember much from that relationship, to be honest. I wasn't really too invested. I liked him a lot, and he was a really nice guy, very strong guy, so I liked that, but he's pretty smart too, very hardworking in school, but a little bit self-conceited, a little pompous, so I don't know, I didn't get along too well with him, but it was a good relationship to go through. I learned how to have like conversations with him, because we really, like I learned how to be patient. I really did. I learned patience with him, because you really need to pick your battles with people, and especially if a lot of things bother you about someone, but you're not like trying to end it immediately, you kind of learn how to like pick your battles and how to be patient. There's something about this one that is just so unbelievably good. I'm happy I saw this on Pinterest. It's Italian themed. So after that, I went to university, went to college. I didn't date anyone until then, because that was until senior year of high school. So I dated like 3 people in high school. One was only over the summer, and one was in the beginning, one was in the summer, and one was in the end. One of the summers, I don't even know. And then, so, in my freshman year of college, I dated 2 guys. One guy, the first guy was the sweetest Korean guy. He was brilliant, he was funny, he had the most amazing absurd stories. He would literally be gone for days and days and like come back totally discombobulated and come with a whole crazy story of what he just experienced, and definitely like such a good person. And he also really loved me. He really loved me, and I really couldn't give him the love back. I wasn't there. I wasn't on the same level as him. And I tried to make that clear to him, like, listen, we dated for like 5 days. I said, I think you're amazing and I can't wait to, you know, like, be friends with you. But he was asking a little too much from me. He was asking a lot, and he wasn't Jewish. For me, that's a really big deal. And I could talk about why that's a big deal to me in another video, but just know that it is a big deal. But he was so interested in Judaism, so he was like, I'll convert. And I'm like, no. Don't do that. So, yeah, he really loved me. And he was really sweet. Yeah, that was the first boyfriend in my first year of university. And then literally 2 days after that, I kind of had my eye on another guy who we were all friends with. It was so bad. And we dated for like over a year. And he was he was the one I thought I was gonna marry. And I just came back from Israel. So that's another thing we need to keep in mind, because at this point, after Israel, I was like, marriage was on my mind. I know that sounds crazy because I was 17 in Israel and 18 when I went to my first year of university, but, in America. But I really was surrounded by this concept that 18 years old, let's get married. Like, that was the custom, that was the culture, and that was what I was surrounded by. Like, the second week we were there, we went to a wedding. And everyone is super young. And that's just the culture. Nothing bad about it, just the culture. So, I came to Binghamton thinking like, okay, sweet, like, Binghamton's a highly populated Jewish school. There's a lot of very religious Jews. People are like me, think the same thing as me. Many people also just got back from Israel, so like they're in the same mindset. So I got into this relationship thinking like, this is the one I'm gonna marry. I literally saw everything. I went on vacations with his family. He went to a lot of my family events. He went camping with me and my father, like just us 3. I really I was so head over heels for this guy. But you know, like, he wasn't that into me, I guess, and he thought he was, because ironically he liked me first. But I guess after time he was starting to learn, because I was his first relationship, he was starting to learn about relationships and whatnot. And I was still very much attached to him. And it was the most disastrous breakup ever. And we did the full consistent a year and I don't even know how long, but a few months maybe after that, maybe even like just 2 months after that. But we were very consistent, but the breakup was devastating. Like, we don't talk. We do not talk. I'm on good terms with all of my exes except for him. We don't talk. We don't look at each other when we're in the same room, and if we do, it's so awkward. It's so unbelievably awkward, and like, I feel really bad. I think I was the one that really made it so terrible. I just felt like I couldn't live without him, so I did whatever I could to try and keep him with me, but that's not how it works. Like, I tried to convince him to love me, and that's really not how it works. That was a really dark time in my life. I lost a lot of weight. I weigh like 135 pounds, like on my healthy weight. And then I was weighing 118. I look back at pictures at that time and like, I was like, holy moly. Skin and bones. It was absolutely like the most scarring time of my life. I felt so bad. I feel like, looking back at it, I feel so bad for what I did to him. I totally scarred him. I like threatened him with terrible things, and oh God, it was absolutely horrible. But like, I was going through so many emotions. It was a really big change in my life. That was a very impressionable time in my life. I was so like all over the place with who I was, who I wanted to be, my emotions, like, and I thought something that I literally couldn't live without was just about to leave me, and I did not know how to handle that at all. Oh my God, it was so terrible. But I'm glad I went through that, because it made me more aware, you know. But like a couple years later, we like happened to have been eating in the same room, and like I approached him and I was like, by the way, I'm really sorry for everything that I did, because I really didn't treat you right when we broke up, when we were breaking up, and I'm really, really sorry. And he said, yeah, I'm really sorry also for the things that I did. But really, it was me. It was me. So I guess like we're on good terms, but we just both understand we don't really talk to each other. And then finally, my sophomore year, I dated this guy. Sophomore year, second semester, this guy. Who ended up being like my favorite person to ever hang out with, ever. And we met, and then we decided like, we're just looking for companions. We're not looking for a relationship, because I honestly, like, just 3 months before, just went through all of that terrible crap with the other boyfriend, and I really wasn't ready to be in a relationship. But I did miss that, like, the feeling of like hanging out with a guy that I enjoy being with. And I met him, and we ended up being just like best friends immediately. Like we just loved hanging out with each other. We did a lot of things together, and people would ask us after a while, like, are you guys dating? And really, we didn't think of it like that. We just thought of like, hey, we just love spending time together, and we just love being with each other and doing things together. We're both really weird. We're both really quirky. He loved nature. I love nature. He loves eating healthy. I love eating healthy. Like, Jumping back to the last ex, my biggest issue with him is I was trying to change him into what I wanted him to be, and you can't do that. You can't do that. It's not cool. It's not okay. And I was trying to do that. So, by using guilt and by just making him feel bad. Yeah, no, I feel so bad. You live and you learn. And then this one, we're still friends. The breakup is still kind of like really difficult for both of us, because we're good at being friends, but we both have like very strong feelings for each other. We dated for a good year, and then we broke up for a while, and then we dated again for a very short amount of time right before I graduated. It just seems like anytime we put a title on us, stuff hits the fan. Like we're so good, we're so compatible in so many ways that once we start putting responsibilities, I don't know, I guess we freak out or something. But with him, with the breakup, I was really struggling because I also really thought that he was the one. I mean, just because like I've never had so much fun with anyone else, or I've never wanted to be with someone doing anything more than I wanted to do it with him. Like every time something was going on in my life, I wanted him right by my side. And it, like, the feeling was very mutual. So, I mean, during some parts, no. But he's also very much the type of person who really thrives on his own. Like, he likes his alone time. He likes to just, like, be with the boys. He likes to do whatever his hobbies are, you know. And that's very good. That's very respectful. That's very nice. And I just wasn't very good at giving people their time because I just wanted to spend all my time with them, or with him. So it was difficult for me to get a hold of that. And that's something I need to work on. But I think I'm getting better at that just because because I am single and have been for so long, I'm kind of being forced to have to do that. So I'm definitely gonna finish this. I'm not finishing this. Like, this is delicious, but it is so filling and I'm pretty full. So with him, right now we're still trying to like not talk so much because I'm not ready to talk to him and hear about his life and all that. We're still going through that breakup, but I don't know, our relationship was so good, but it was we fought a lot, and it was because we just were not on the same page. And that's something that I learned from him. Like, you can't force someone to be on the same page as you. Just because you're ready to settle down doesn't mean that he's ready to settle down or she's ready to settle down. Like, you need to find someone who you're compatible with who's also wants the same thing as you. It's not easy. I'm really hoping that one day he and I will be able to like hang out and like just totally be friends and not think about the past or anything. We recently did hang out and it was very nice. Very, very nice. Oh my God. Slowly but surely, we're making it. Relationships are really hard. They're really hard, and they are a lot of work, and they take up a lot of your time. And honestly, sometimes you feel like, oh my God, this is literally the worst thing ever. And then sometimes you're in a relationship and it's like the best thing ever. But be patient. I mean, I don't personally know the end result of everything, but you really need to find someone who's just, from what I've learned, you really need to find someone who's on the same page with you. You need to learn how to step back and say, like, it's not about you. Like, this is a relationship. There are two people involved. There are two people's interests and lives involved. You need to take into account their life, and so too they need to take into account your life. It's just a bunch of working together. It's a lot of that. It's a lot of, like, not just, oh, what works best for me. It's what works best for us. And I do believe that when you're in a relationship, eventually, if you're very serious in that relationship, every decision, you need to think about the other person. But they are magical, and I'm very much and that's another thing with this person, the most recent ex-boyfriend. He and I are very, like, when we're in the same room, we feel it. Like, when we just hold each other's hands or just, like, our skin touches, it is literally magic. It is just the most magical feeling ever, and it just feels so, like, this is right. This is so right. So it's really hard to deny, and it's really hard to get away from. And it's really hard to tell yourself, yes, this may feel right now, but you know, in the long run, it's not healthy. And sometimes you just need to put that first and realize that first and not be selfish and not be a child. Like, look at the long run. Is this actually really nice, or just right now is it nice? I highly suggest anyone who likes Italian food but can't because they put cheese on everything, substitute avocado for this one. I don't know about for everyone. I personally don't like cooked avocado. And this is alright. I don't really like cheese in general, so I don't know if this tastes like cheese, but I like this. All relationships are different, as you can see. I tend to go for similar people, like I go for musicians a lot. Not anymore. I go for musicians a lot. I usually like tall, skinny guys. And I also go for younger a lot, which I wish I didn't, because I don't want to be a teacher anymore. I don't want to teach them anything. I want them to just treat me right off the bat. But yeah, you're constantly still learning. Like, it's not easy, and I think it's not like once you even do find the guy, it's gonna be a piece of cake. It's still gonna be difficult. It's just like, are you willing to work this hard for this person? And are you willing to go through all those obstacles with that person and know at the end, no matter what, it doesn't matter like what happens, we still love each other and we're staying together. So yeah, I think that I'm finally like very okay and content with being single. I like my life right now. I like spending my time with myself. And that's a first for me too. So this is another relationship I think I'm going through right now with myself that I need to ride out for a bit before anything dramatic happens. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. I burned myself earlier. I hope you enjoyed this time listening to my experiences with relationships, as well as watching me make and eat some of this food, and maybe we're even inspired by the fact that, hey, listen, you can make these food taste so good, and it's vegan. And it's Italian. Italian vegan food is honestly the hardest thing to find for me. But and just make sure before you go to drink lots of water, be happy, love life, and eat lots of delicious, nutritious, colorful foods. And don't forget to like and subscribe at the bottom. And with that, I hope you enjoyed your time with Vibe with Veggies.